This passage is about the weapons that were tried in World War II, and how some of them went down in history, while others you need to look up for history class. Unfortunately, none of these involve a comically large spoon, or a VeggieTales reference. The first thing we'll be talking about is the handgun. Not that one. Or that one. The handgun. The purpose of this was to collide the switch with the person they were punching to fire.
Safety bolt right here means it won't fire. Goes in right there.
Is that a 9mm?
No, it's a 3/8. Bam.
So now it's unsafe?
It is now armed. The arm is armed. Fist gun, 3, 2, 1.
They didn't use it for long though when it was first tried. The guy was trapped by two guys and he had his hands up so they couldn't see the gun, because it was on his backhand. So he took out one guy, but he couldn't take care of the other guy, so they were never used again. Maybe it was because they weren't that fast, or the fact you needed to punch someone. Now the next weapon I hadn't heard much about until I saw it. Now it's not professionally called this, but I call it the TESPA. It was designed to shoot through the light armor of a tank. It surprisingly had no recoil from the reports, and it could fire heat shells, basically really good at splitting through tank armor. It could shoot smoke shells and other shells that could pierce pretty deep for tank armor scaling. But it's sad that not many people remember it. We should really do something about that. The next weapon is a .50 caliber machine gun. Now if we're talking about weapons that got popular, this is a big one. It became one of the strongest guns today, and it's a machine gun. This weapon wasn't made until the end of the First War, but they were used in the Second War for aircraft defense and offense. It was also mounted on tanks.
Designed to play tennis. Abrams serve. And wow, what a
for the same reason as well. I wonder if they could have put it on the TESPA. Then
Possible that the weapon could be fired from the scooter and while it was moving.
and that everyone knows, but not for the best reasons. The atomic bomb, sometimes known as a nuke, was the most destructive bomb of the war, actually ending it. It was used twice, with the second time ending the war. It has invoked fear and sometimes questions, but it shows the good and bad side of humanity, how far we've come, or what we went that far for. Now on a lighter note, the Kremlov, better known as the curved rifle, was supposed to redirect bullets to a curve.
Part in Tom and Jerry where the conniving rat bends the gun barrel back at his adversary.
However, it shattered the bullets in the barrel and would come out as buckshot. Needless to say, they didn't live long due to a rifle is not supposed to come out as buckshot, reducing its life by a little more every time it was used. But it did temporarily work. Now, if you thought the Kremlov was silly, wait until you hear about Project Habakkuk. Basically, a guy proposed to make vehicles out of
man Jeffrey Pike and his wild idea during the Second World War to build a freaking aircraft carrier out of ice. While that doesn't immediately seem to make any reasonable sense,
ice, for the reason it would stop their ships from freezing over. Yes, ice. Now, I don't know if he was related to Frozone, but his ideas were never implemented due to the ice being wrong and too thin for building. Yes, you heard me right. They were actually going to try it. How would you build an engine powered by gas? I've heard Eden talking about engines before, but not any made by ice. What would they even use to carve the ice with? A spoon?
Say it's best not to touch it, since it is made of ice. Then again, what was the point of welding this frame together, right? Anyway, let's start it up and give it a go. Let's do this. Taking the ice G-Wagon out for its first drive. Translation and voiceover by BMI Russian.
Now, there were a few honorable mentions I'll say really quickly. One of these was the Sun Gun, which was a satellite that would reflect the sun to fry cities, which might have actually worked. It only would have taken 100 years to build, but it might not have been that bad.
Doesn't seem to be working. I'm standing right in it, and I'm not dead yet.
The other one is the Firebomb. It was a long-range hot air balloon that was meant to burn cities, but it was barely even sighted and mainly just burned unpopulated areas.
The absence of humans. A great place for our nuclear test.
Then the factories got destroyed that made the hydrogen, so it stopped the project. That's all for today. Here's what I got with my sources, and have a nice day.